It's your girl, Goddess Raven, and this is Goddess Raven Botanica, where not only do I share about spirituality, about hoodoo, about doing tarot readings on celebrities and missing people. It's a online shop that provides activism, knowledge, wisdom. Because back in the day, hoodoo shops, magic shops, shaman shops, all of those they were leaders in their communities, as well as other leaders in the fight against injustice. Sometimes they would meet at the shop and discuss the problems that were going on in the community. When there was an injustice that happened, in a at a plantation or some situation happened, they would go to that priestess, that high priestess, or that priest, or that conjurer, that root worker, and they would get the workings done so they could change those circumstances. If the master was acting up, they would come up with a candle work for that. If he was being too mean, they'd figure out a way of doing a honey jar. If John got locked up, or the court system was, corrupt, or there was some problems, they would light their justice candles and stuff like that to get a just, fair verdict for their loved ones. So hoodoo, you know, priestess, high priestess, the priest, all of those were very important pillars in the community, along with the church. Because back in the day, let's keep it real. I'm going to get into this. I know I'm going off script, but back in the day, you know, the slaves were doing their religion, and they're doing practicing their spirituality inside the church, because that was only the safe one of the safe places that they were allowed to practice what they needed to practice. So it's sad that nowadays the church has separated itself from those things, where back in the day they were together. And I think that now more than ever, the high priestess, the root workers, the conjurers, all of them need to become more involved into the community in helping to change what is going on with our community. So now let's get into that, okay? And well, the first thing is, Black folks and white folks alike in Mississippi, y'all need to wake up, and y'all need to wake up fast. Y'all need to make some changes to the laws. Y'all need to make some changes to policies. And y'all need to get out there and protest on a daily basis and scream from the mountaintops. And y'all also need some spiritual, spiritual workers too, helping y'all, because this is too much. What am I talking about? Well, a judge allows Mississippi to create state-run court in Black majority capital city. This is something that we are not, like everything that's what's really important for us in our community are these situations right here. Now, despite objections from the NAACP, a federal judge is allowing Mississippi to create a state run court in Jackson, the state capital, where the majority of residents are Black. Attorneys for the NAACP filed a lawsuit against Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves, who's a Republican, and state officials last year, arguing that a new state run court unfairly targets Jackson residents and would undermine democracy, since the state would appoint the new judges. Yeah, and chances are they're going to be all white judges. The judge of the Capital Complex Improvement District Court would be appointed by the state Supreme Court Chief Justice, and the prosecutors would be appointed by the state attorney general. Critics have argued that the system would not represent the city's majority Black community. Of course it won't. But y'all, in order to make changes, those people that are in that community, y'all need to be at that courthouse every day protesting. Y'all need to be at stores protesting. Y'all need to be out in the street every day protesting. Y'all need to let your voices heard and be heard in Mississippi. Don't just depend on the NAACP for anything. You know, they're doing what they got to do, but y'all people got to do what y'all got to do too. Y'all got to get out there and let your voices be heard. Either stay silent and be sheep and be led, or be wolves and run a pack and make some changes. What you gonna do? But it's either get down or lay down. What you gonna do? You need to do something, Mississippi, because y'all too quiet. It is too much stuff popping off in Mississippi that for y'all to be this damn quiet. Yeah, I need to see like Mississippi residents on YouTube on every gosh damn channel, talking about the situation over there. Because there's a lot popping off in Mississippi. I feel like Mississippi is like one of the starting points for another movement. But I'll continue on. Mm, mm, mm. The critics have argued that the system would not represent the city majority Black community. Of course, it won't. The U.S. District Judge Henry Wingate dismissed the request to block the new court in a filing Sunday night, just one day before the new law setting up the court went into effect. Wingate said the court was not persuaded by the plaintiff's motion to halt the creation of the new court. None of the plaintiffs have alleged that he or she is in actual imminent danger of experiencing any concrete and plagiarizing injuries resulting from the establishment of the Capitol Complex Improvement District Court or the challenged appointment of a judge or prosecutors from that court. Yeah, Reed signed two bills last year that are at the center of the NAACP lawsuit. House Bill 1020 created a separate legal system for the Capitol Complex Improvement District, which is the 17.5 square mile area surrounding the Capitol building in Jackson. Senate Bill 2343 required those protesting at the state capitol to get permits with the Capitol Police, which is controlled by the state. We need to wake up, y'all. We need to wake up and realize that our freedom, our democracy is at stake. We need to wake up and realize that our democracy, our freedom is at stake now more than ever. You may not believe it, but I'm telling you it is happening. Our freedom, our democracy, everything is at stake. And these Republicans out here ain't playing no games. They are making the changes necessary to control us. They are making the changes necessary to limit our voices. Are you going to continue to allow this to happen, or are you going to fight? Continue on. Now, the NAACP argues in this lawsuit that the two laws violate the 14th Amendment by discriminating against the citizens of Jackson. They don't care about these amendments. We are at risk of the 14th and the 13th Amendment being violated on us. In violation of the 14th Amendment, these laws target Jackson's majority Black residents on the basis of race for a separate and unequal policing structure and criminal justice system to which no other residents of the state are subject to. This is what was found in the lawsuit. A spokesperson for the NAACP says the organization has already appealed the judge's ruling in the Fifth Circuit, which granted an administrative stay on the provisions of the House Bill 1020 that would establish the courts. Y'all need to start supporting the NAACP. Y'all need to start supporting. Y'all need to start being more invested in what's going on in your state, what laws are being passed. F a damn Jaguar, right? Sitting up on here talking shit about situations and stuff like that. We need to be focusing on real ish that is affecting our lives and our kids' lives and our grandkids' lives and generations to come. We are being silenced. We are essentially reverting back to the old ways if we don't put our foot down. Look at what now we're going to get into another situation that is presently going on. Okay.
Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, to be exact. It's been revealed 215 bodies were buried in unmarked graves behind a state jail in Jackson, of course. Attorney Ben Crump is now calling for an investigation. Families of the dead reportedly had no idea until last month. Some of them, those grave sites were only labeled by a number and a metal rod. Joining us to talk about it, activist Arthur Silky Slim Reed, who also works with Ben Crump. So, Arthur, this started with Dexter Wade's case back in March, right? He was an individual who was hit by a police officer, and his family thought he was simply missing, but he was dead and buried, and no one notified them.
Well, the thing about it is that he had identification on him, Isaiah, and the medical examiner gave it to the lead detective, who said he called, didn't get an answer, and they didn't worry about doing anything else.
So a cop could just run you over. You have your information on you, and they make one alleged call, allegedly, and they turn around and bury your loved one in an unmarked grave. And they bury you in a manner of basically putting you in a plastic bag and dumping you. And this is over 215 bodies in unmarked graves that were dug up by inmates. Yeah. Wake up, Mississippi. Wake up.
What we're finding, Isaiah, is that Mississippi is Mississippi. It's an ugly Mississippi. And this is sad because now we have 6 other individuals that has been put into this same grave. And if you look at the video from when we first went to that site, buzzards were flying overhead. And we were trying to figure out, why are the buzzards flying overhead? But it's because they're putting them in shallow graves, and the only thing that they're putting them in is a body bag without embalming the bodies. So the stench from the bodies are drawing buzzards there. It's so inhumane for anybody to do anyone like that, Isaiah, is just horrible is what we can say. And that's not even a word that we should use in a situation like this. It's something that we haven't seen.
And what we're seeing here is over 200 people in this, what they consider a pauper's grave behind the county jail there. And what you guys are learning in your investigation is many of these families were never called, were never notified. Many of them still think their family members or thought their family members were simply missing, but they were dead and buried and never got a call.
So not only are they trying to take away your voice, not only are they trying to take away your right to justice and where You are tried with, people of your peer. Not only are they trying to set up a whole entire new government court system in a majority black county where it will be an all white system in place, but the police are lawless. They are just burying people's bodies without letting them know. And not only that, they want to charge people. Here's the biggest slap in the face. They actually want to charge people money to get the bodies back. Did you know this? They want the people to pay to get their loved ones' bodies. Yeah. A horrifying situation is unfolding in Jackson, Mississippi, where 215 bodies were recently discovered in unmarked graves behind a state jail. The families of those buried in what is known as Pauper's Field behind Hines County Penal Farm were never informed of the death of their loved ones, let alone given a chance to retrieve their bodies and pay their proper respects to their loved ones. The extent and scope of this tragedy and utter disregard for human life is still largely being kept under wraps. However, what has been reported thus far is disgusting, chilling, and you just don't believe it. The grave sites of the victims are unidentifiable. There's nothing there, only except for a number and a metal rod. The bodies were not embalmed, given coffins, or even properly buried. The graves were dug by inmates, and it is likely the burial were carried out by the same inmates. Inmates were forced to bury your loved ones against their will. One activist known as Arthur Silky Slim Reed, who we just heard talking, who has been outspoken on the event, described a morbid scene at the burial ground when visiting, reporting that buzzards fly overhead, attracted to the disturbing stench that is coming from the shallow graves. The shocking revelation was unearthed only due to the persistence of Wade, who spent 7 months looking for her middle child, Dexter Wade, who suddenly went missing in March of 2023. The mother would not find out the truth about her son until October of 2023, months later. Dexter had been killed shortly after leaving his mother's home, hit by a Jackson police car while just crossing the street. Police were aware of Dexter's identity as he was killed with identification on him, yet still failed to notify the family. Instead, the police department let Dexter's body remain unclaimed for months in the county morgue. The mother repeatedly called the Jackson Police Department to ask police if they had any information on her son after officially reporting him missing to the police on March 14, 2023. Just days after he went missing, the grieving mother emailed pictures of her son to the police and requested they show the photo on television. Finding no help from authorities, she took to social media to appeal to the public to look out for her missing son. The mother reported to NBC News that the decision to call the police was difficult for her because of her lack of trust in the department. Her 62-year-old brother died at the hands of Jackson police in 2019 when an officer slammed him to the ground. The officer was convicted of manslaughter, but is now currently appealing that decision. The same as George Floyd's, murderer is, appealing his. It was not until August, several months later, when a new investigator took over Dexter's case and finally notified the family of Dexter's passing. It took the mother 2 more months before she could track down her son's body in the pauper's field. Moreover, like the other victims buried in the same plot, it cost the Wade family $250 fee to claim Dexter's body. To add insult to injury, they had to pay to get this body. On Tuesday afternoon in early October, accompanied by a sheriff's deputy and two inmates in jumpsuits, the mother, her sister, and daughter were taken to plot number 672, where Dexter was buried. Dexter Wade was the father of two little girls. Since the initial um, uncovering of this, several more harrowing stories have come to light over the bodies buried at Hinds County Penal Farm. Yeah, y'all got to do something. Y'all got to do something, baby. Y'all got to do something. Y'all got to do something. In Mississippi, and this ain't just Mississippi, okay? This ain't just Mississippi. We got to do something. Because if we don't do something, this will continue. Not only will it happen in Mississippi, but they will take what happened in Mississippi and use it as a learning tool to do in other Republican states. This mother lost her son. The cop took his life. And instead of notifying the family, they buried this man in a pauper's field. Yeah, something got to be done. Something got to be done. Something got to be done. There's pause it real. Wake up, y'all.
Judges in the Supreme Court, and look what they fucking up right now. Overturning shit. Overturning amendments. You know what else is an amendment, bro? The 13th. He put those motherfucking judges in the Supreme Court, and look what they fucking up right now. Overturning shit. Overturning amendments. You know what else is an amendment, bro? The 13th fucking amendment. What is stopping them right now from overturning the 13th amendment? Nothing. Just their word of saying they won't do it. That's the only thing that's stopping them. They can overturn that shit. Because he put those judges on the Supreme Court. Fuck that.
And the point is, nothing is stopping them from overthrowing, and nothing stopping them from changing any of these rules. Nothing stopping them from getting rid of the amendment, 14th Amendment, 13th Amendment, any of those amendments that protect us. As you see, when he made sure he got who he wanted into office, they quickly got rid of Roe versus Wade. They quickly got rid of affirmative action. They quickly got rid of so many other things. And now Mississippi, they done created a whole new court system to deal with Black folks. Look at this. The police, look at them. 215 bodies buried by inmates in unmarked graves. If this ain't a wake-up call, I don't know what is. Y'all, wake up. Black folks, white folks in Mississippi need to wake up, and y'all need to wake up now. Y'all tell me what y'all think, okay? Well, it look like Ben Crump gonna be busy again. I'm dealing with all these cases. Child. But we gotta make our voices heard. And if people think, I know one side and the other side and this side and that side is no better than the other side, but there is one side that is way, way worse. And as they're trying to take away our freedoms, our speech, our ability to move, grow, and flourish in this country, that our ancestors bled, got whipped, lost a foot, got lynched, hit with fire hoses, dogs, bullets, buried, land stolen from. If we don't stand up and fight, we're going to repeat this history. Look at this. Mississippi is trying to get their own form of court system to manage Black folks. And it almost is coming to pass if, they didn't have the NAACP fighting. Black folks, y'all need to get the flip up. It should be on every timeline. I should be seeing this on Facebook. I should see this on Instagram. I should see this everywhere of people fighting and protesting on the news. Y'all should be kicking up hell, fire, dust, and brick and mortar and everything down there to make some changes. Either fight or have your freedom taken away from you and end back in chains. Choice is yours. Goddess Raven, I am out. And click like and subscribe. Comment below and let me know what you think. And on that note, I'm out.